My name is Sue Murkin and I'm one of the co-founders of a company called the International Coaching Alliance. And what we do is we train people in the skills of coaching. First of all, I've got a question for you guys. Who came to the show today because you're looking for a bit of guidance? Anyone looking for some guidance? Yeah, okay. Who came to the show because you've made a decision on something and you just like a little bit of validation that you've made that right decision, that it is the right thing to do? Yeah, okay, some knowing looks there. And who's come because, a little bit like me, 5-6 years ago, you got to a stage in your life and actually you really weren't quite sure what to do next. You really did need direction because either there was so much choice or you were at a road where you thought, I've gone as far as I can go, and actually I don't know which road to go down next. So there's some nods there going. Okay, well I've been there, guys. I was there about 6 years ago. The reason I ask those questions is because that's the reason that people go to coaching. That's why people are attracted to a coach. Because what coaching does is it enables you through the skills of the coach to tap into your inner wisdom so that actually you find all the resources within yourself to know that you've made the right decision, to actually have the confidence to say this is the road I'm going to go down next, or to be able to just stand in your own space, being able to listen to yourself, listen to what your inner wisdom is telling you, so that you know that that is the next step. And that's what coaching helps you do. It helps you find that next step. Because I don't know if you're anything like me. If I make a decision, I'll sometimes say, Shane, what do you think? Do you think I should do that? If it doesn't sound right from Shane, I'll say, Mum, look, I've decided to do this. What do you think? And if it doesn't sound right, I'm like, Debs, here's my sister, what shall I do? And really what I'm doing is I'm waiting for someone to come out with the answer that I've already established within me. And I'm just waiting for that person to validate me. And I keep asking loads of other people until I hear the right answer. Coaching saves you a hell of a lot of time because what you do is you tap into that wisdom. You tap into your internal check reference system so you don't need an external check. Other people's opinions still matter. But the great thing about working with a coach is that they won't express an opinion. They won't put any judgment around the decisions or the choices that you want to make. They're going to be completely unbiased to what you're telling them. That's why it's so powerful, because you're not having someone's impression or someone's perception of what you should do pop upon you. You're actually standing in your own inner essence and saying, okay, I've done my little internal checklist. I'm really coming from my core being, and that's where you're operating from. So before I go more into how coaching is so empowering, what I would just like to do is I'd just like to bring some clarity around how it's different from other interventions. So what do you guys think coaching often gets confused with? Got any ideas?
Psychotherapy.
Yeah, absolutely. Psychotherapy. Anything else? Yes, that's the one I was waiting for. That's the answer in the room I was waiting for. Counselling. It really does get confused with counselling. A lot of coaches that haven't been professionally trained get coaching confused with mentoring and also consulting. So what I'd like to do is I'd just like to clarify for you how it's different. So I'm going to go with counselling first because that's the one I think most people get confused with. With coaching, it is very future focused. It's where you are now, looking into where you want to go. It's goal orientated and it's really about taking action. So if we look at counselling, counselling is actually about what went in the past. And what it is, it's about taking you back into the past so that you can make peace and have acceptance with what happened in your past. So you can stand here today in the present. So very much Counselling is past focus to bring you into the now. Coaching is taking you from the now into the future that you want to create. So that's the definition there. With mentoring, mentoring is where the person that you are working with will give you their advice based on their experience. So I do quite a lot of child mentoring, and I work with 14, 15-year-olds. And when they ask me a question, because they ask as many questions of me as I do of them, I then depart what happened to me when I was their age. Although they can't believe it because they think I'm about 100 years old. They can't believe that I can remember back that far, which is outrageous because I'm only a spring chicken myself. So what mentoring does is allows the mentor to actually give you advice. Coaches don't do that. They will only ask you questions to allow you to access your inner wisdom. Because the principle of coaching is that we have within us everything we need to make the right choice, to make the right decision. And even if it doesn't end up how we planned, that just gives us the feedback to know how not to do it the next time round. So there's no advice that's given. There's no kind of like, oh, well, when I did that, this is what happened to me. Because coaching identifies that what happens in my life is my path. It's my journey. And you might walk exactly the same path, but you'll have a totally different experience. So that's the difference there. We don't give advice. With consulting, very similar to mentoring, they will go in and they'll assess a situation, and from their experience or from their knowledge, they will then give you an action plan. So they will say, okay, I've assessed what's going on here, this is the action you're going to take, so here's your report, and in 6 months' time you will need to have implemented those action points. With coaching, we don't impose any action plan on you, but we do encourage you to identify what actions you're going to take, be it baby steps or be it giant leaps. So that's the difference there. Is there any questions actually at that point that anyone wants to ask? Okay.